Welcome back. Every third Thursday of the month, we want to bring you the brains on Purdue's campus. This morning, we're starting with the brains behind bugs. Professor Tom Turpin is an entomology professor at Purdue, and he's officially kicking off our monthly Purdue 101 series. So good morning. I guess a late happy Valentine's Day. We got the flowers here.
Oh, yeah. Definitely need flowers for Valentine's. Appreciate that.
So you're Purdue entomology professor. You are the man behind bugs. You know everything there is to know about bugs. We have one here. We showed you the cockroaches right before the break. A Madagascar hissing cockroach?
Madagascan hissing cockroach.
So we got that. We're going to be talking about her in just a little bit. But tell me about bugs. They get a bad rap. Why?
Well, bugs get a bad rap mainly because they've done nasty things to humans over the years. They feed on us, they feed on our possessions, they feed on our crops, they feed on our pets, just create havoc for us. So about 80% of the human population has a negative attitude about insects. So when we start teaching entomology or insect science, we start off with that negative attitude, and so we try to overcome that.
How do you turn that around? I'm not necessarily a big bug lover. This guy's fine. You know, I'm starting to get to know her a little bit, but I'm not a big bug guy. So how do you teach somebody to actually like bugs?
Well, I don't know that we teach them to like them.
Yeah.
We teach them to not be as negative about them. I think the idea basically is that they need to appreciate all the important roles that insects play in nature. They're part of our recyclers, they're our pollinators. So we talk about the good things, but we also talk about the very interesting things in the insect world. And they are our major competitors, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And through the centuries, people have been trying to get rid of them in one way or another. Now, explain the props that you brought in to kind of illustrate that.
Yeah, well, of course, one of the things that we did early on, now you'll probably call this a back scratcher.
Absolutely, yeah.
But technically, this is what we call a louse dislodger, because early humans were all lousy. They all had lice. So they had to sort of get rid of the lice that were bothering them, so they developed these little back scratchers, as we call them today.
It's stuck ever since.
But people don't like to say, oh, I've got a neat louse dislodger, so they say I've got a back scratcher. But it was designed to get rid of a louse that was biting in a rather difficult position to scratch.
And these flowers here, what do we know about these and how that relates to bugs?
Well, early on, people didn't know that insects transmitted diseases and how they did that. And so there was an old notion that diseases were transmitted by bad air. So they would try to breathe the perfume coming through the flowers to sort of purify the air. So if you were a judge in England and you were dealing with people from the jail, you would want the people from the jail to be separated by the flowers so they would purify the air.
So there's no truth to that, though? There's no truth to the...
Well, actually, no. I mean, we do get diseases that are transmitted by...
And flowers look nice.
And flowers look nice. And so basically this idea was that you would breathe the perfume and that would purify the air. And in fact, the disease malaria, which is transmitted by mosquitoes, means bad air or malaria, and it went back to this idea of breathing the bad air.
Now what about this little lady we've got in the box here? She's pretty harmless, isn't she?
Yes. One of the misconceptions we have about insects basically is that, especially cockroaches, they transmit diseases. That's not really true, although certainly a lot of people can get an allergic reaction to the chemicals, and that is a medical condition. But they're not transmitting bacteria that you're going to get by handling them. So you can handle them very safely without any risk of disease transmission.
And she's very well behaved on camera as well. Tell us about the wig I have in front of me here.
Well, you see, those early people, going clear back to the French royalty, had lice, and so one of the things that they did was they'd shave their hair, and then they would put on these powdered wigs during the day, and then they would take them off at night, and the powder would help keep the lice away. So it was just a way to get rid of the lice, and then when you went to bed at night, you'd need a nightcap to cover up those bald heads, so a lot of people in those days were sleeping in a nightcap as well.
So do you have a favorite bug, a favorite insect that you just love to teach people about?
Well, I like praying mantids because they're kind of mean, you know, and they catch their prey and they pull the wings off and that sort of thing, and plus they can turn their head and look at you. So not many insects can actually turn their head, and so a praying mantis could do that, and because of its habit of eating other insects, I like them.
There you go. Well, Tom Turpin, we learned a lot about bugs this morning. Thank you so much for being part of our Purdue 101 series. We look forward to having you back sometime in the future.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.